Trinity Junior College, number 40, Sean Kemp. At center, 6'9", from San Diego State, number 44, Michael Cage. On the injured list this evening, and not playing, are Derek McKee and Dana Barrow. The trainer is Frank Furtado, assistant coaches Kip Mata and Gary Wortman, and the head coach, Casey Jones.
I knew that was you.
And now, please welcome your New York Knicks. At guard, 6'3", from St. John's, number 13, Mark Jackson. At guard, 6'6", from Tennessee Chattanooga, number 21, Gerald Wilkins. At forward, 6'6", from Wichita State, number 32, Xavier McDaniel. At forward, 6'9", from Virginia Union, number 34, Charles Gosley. And at center, 17 from Georgetown, number 33, Patrick Ewing. The head trainer is Mike Saunders. The assistant trainer, Tim Walsh. Assistant coaches are Dick Harlow, Paul Silent, and Jeff Van Gundy. And the head coach for the Knicks, Pat Riley.
And the crowd responding to the entrance of Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson worked out here at Madison Square Garden earlier in the day. And he will remain for the game this evening. And Magic greeting the crowd, receiving a standing ovation. Magic Johnson working out here at Madison Square Garden late this afternoon. And Magic insisting that he will be able to play in the Olympics in Barcelona. A very strong statement from Magic. We certainly would hope so, but I think, John, that would be a difficult task without the benefit of playing through the season with the Lakers because of the retirement due to the HIV virus. However, Magic has been working out on a regular basis, usually with the Lakers.
It would seem that way. It would be very difficult. But Magic is special, and God willing, he may be healthy then, and if that's the case, he will be there, that's for sure, in one form or another, hopefully on the basketball court. But he was out here popping him up today, looking pretty good.
And we apologize for the audio difficulties that we have experienced here at the start of the game. Here's the former Sonic, Xavier McDaniel. So the X-Man, who spent 5 years with Seattle, had his best year with the Sonics. First-round pick of Seattle back in 1985, able to get the Knicks off to the 2-0 lead. And a hacking foul on Oakley. The Seattle SuperSonics come in with a record of 11-8. This is game 2 of a 4-game road trip. They are 5th in the Pacific. A half game behind Phoenix, 1 behind Portland, and 2.5 behind the first place Los Angeles Lakers. Ricky Pierce, who has been on a tear at the foul line. That is now 69 straight. 2 more will tie him with Larry Bird for the second best mark of 71 straight. Now he's within one. Calvin Murphy holds the all-time record, 78 consecutive successful free throws.
Well, he will be a problem for the Knicks tonight, particularly Gerald Wilkins, as Xavier McDaniel posts up down low in a mismatch favoring him. Xavier, you know, will be sharp tonight against his old team. This is where he made his mark in the NBA with Seattle.
Knicks with a 4-2 lead. McDaniel going for the steal. And it will be Nick Paul. The Knicks coming off the walloping of the Nets last night at the Meadowlands by the score of 114 to 98. Look out. And it's Seattle ball.
That was a deception move, looking like the Knicks were setting up for McDaniel once again. Now Ewing comes out of that shaken up a bit. He had Eddie Johnson in front of him. They tried to do a slam dunk, but Johnson was in front of Ewing, and he came down. Ewing came down on Eddie Johnson.
The officials check it out. They say the Knicks did not touch it. It'll be Nick Paul. Paul Mahalik, Terry Durham, and Tommy Wood working the game. The Knicks 7-0 here at Madison Square Garden. Oakley given the room. No respect from Sean Kemp.
Scouting reports have to say that Oakley will not shoot. The Knicks anticipating that go to Oakley. What a smart move.
22nd timeout has been taken by Casey Jones. The Knicks with a 6-2 lead, a minute and 50 gone by in this first quarter. Last night at the Meadowlands, the Knicks shooting 54% from the field. So Magic Johnson taking it all in from across the way from the Knicks bench.
Magic is the news wherever he goes.
And this is the scene earlier today with Magic working out along with his one-time coach, Pat Riley. Payton played by Jackson. Gary Payton, second-year man from Oregon State. Here's Kemp, changed his mind.
Well, McDaniel was right in his face. He knew what Kemp wanted.
Payton. And Ewing pegs to Jackson. And hit Pierce. And carries out of bounds. Knicks maintain possession.
Kemp is the guy who can bring excitement to Madison Square Garden tonight for the opposition. Charles Oakley's guarding him. The 6'10" big young man, never went to college, is Mr. Excitement around the basket.
There's Ewing off the double team. Knicks able to get back. Payton had a notion that there would be a fast break brewing. Ewing sweeping it. Good play by Cade. Eddie Johnson. He was stopped by Oakley as he moved to the left. Still 10 on the 24. Kemp. Sean Kemp not noted for his outside shooting.
No, he's more comfortable in the air around the hoop.
It's the Knicks 6. And the Sonics 2 were just underway at the Garden. Ewing is fouled. Hit by Cage. Michael Cage goes about 6'9". Starting at center with Benoit Benjamin injured, although Benoit is with the club. He's missed the last 3 games. Out with a cut right thumb called a doubtful for tonight. There is Benoit, and as you mentioned earlier, he also has had more than his share of difficulties against Patrick Ewing.
Well, I can remember, Marv, out in Los Angeles a couple of years ago, Ewing had one of his gigantic games, huge in the fourth quarter as well, against Benoit, who just gave in. He just crumbled under Ewing's pressure.
Benoit, one of those players who can tease you with dynamic stretches, and then he'll dive for a game or two. And he'll drive a coach crazy. Timeout call. Knicks lead at 7-2.
Contraceptives is ridiculous, isn't it? It's like shopping.
Jackson with a big defensive rebound.
McDaniel save in the first quarter. That will count. Goaltend called on Ewing, so Eddie Johnson receives credit. The Knicks lead it by the score of 7-4. Here's some pressure from Seattle. Knicks have no trouble with it. McDaniel has 2-point range. So Xavier with his first field goal. He's hit 3 of 3. The Knicks lead it 9-4. And McDaniel was picked off. Offensive foul on Michael Cage. He was on the move as he set the pick, and he brushed McDaniel.
Gerald Wilkins guarding Ricky Pierce without the ball got picked off, but that's one of the few times he did. Pierce is having a tough time getting the basketball.
Wilkins. Oh, come on. And the loose ball foul is called on the Knicks. It is on Ewing. That is his first. Now coming into tonight, the Knicks allowing 98 points per game. Their defensive play has been so sound. They've held opponents under 100 8 of the last 10 games. Johnson. And Oakley on the rebound. McDaniel, well, he feels it. He's come out on fire against his former club, and the Knicks now lead 11-4.
Well, Michael Cage greeted McDaniel. He didn't want to get too close, knowing Xavier could drive around him.
Payton, nice pass from Cat. And the Knicks now lead it 11-6.
That's an example of why you have to develop the weak shooting hand. Payton's a righty, but he had that left hand because that's the way his body was going.
Ewing picked off Payton, allowing Jackson to get inside. Notice the bandage on the forehead of Ricky Pierce. He took 7 stitches. Ewing on the rejection. Here's Wilkins, chased by Pierce, and it will be Seattle ball. Ricky Pierce took an elbow from Dikembe Mutombo a couple of weeks ago, and that's the reason for the stitches.
Patrick Ewing with good timing gets that ball out to Mark Jackson on that block.
Pierce coming off the screen, but Wilkins right with him. Pierce, and Wilkins got a piece of it.
So tough. He's so tough. Even with Wilkins all over him. One of the game's great shooters.
He's averaging 23 a game. He leads the Sonics. Patrick Ewing with his first field goal. It's the Knicks 13 and Seattle 8.
When Ewing gets the ball, Seattle must double team him. He will be unstoppable with moves like that for Cage.
Payton bottled up by Jackson. Nice recovery. Eddie Johnson comes into a 3-point Knick lead. McDaniel. That would be labeled a shot by Xavier, but he feels he's had the hot hand at his first 4, but that's how guys end up standing around, and Michael Cage cuts it to a 1-point lead.
I was thinking that, Marv, that he didn't want to shoot. In fact, I was going to say that because he has been shooting so much, but they gave him so much room, and it was a short jumper. I don't think Pat Riley would be disturbed by that.
Here's Jackson. Gary Payton, first-round pick last year, 2nd overall in the draft, and had a disappointing season. Jackson off the steal. And the Knicks now lead 15-12.
That's the kind of play you didn't see out of Mark Jackson last year. He is taking such pride in his defense.
Pierce posting Wilkins. It counts. And the foul on Gerald Wilkins.
What a nightmare he is. He's only 6'5", and yet against players of his height or even a little taller, he'll go away at a pretty good range. He gets up in the air rather well, and he'll hit that shot. He'll go up with his back to you and end up with his front facing you. Very hard to spin in the air like that and still maintain the control that he does over his shot.
Eddie Johnson sitting down, and Marty Conlon, a rookie from Providence, a surprise to make the roster, and he has been getting the playing time, is the first sub off the bench for Casey Jones. Marty Conlon has checked in. He was signed as a free agent. So 6'10", 220 pounds. Game is tied at 15. And Ricky Pierce, there's Wilkins. Nice move. And the Knicks lead by 2. Ricky Pierce, by hitting 3 of 3 from the line, has now tied Rick Barry for second best consecutive free throw shooting streak. 71 in a row. Here's Cage wide open.
You know what's interesting about that play for Gerald Wilkins, Marv, was his man had hurt him 2 times in a row, and the Knicks call a play out for Gerald Wilkins, goes one-on-one and makes the basket, gets him back into it mentally.
Payton tried the stutter step, but Jackson able to stay right with him. Cage returning to Kemp. 3-second violation. Well, the Sonics thought Kemp would unleash the shot, and as a result, they ended up standing around and were called for the 3 seconds.
See, Cage at 6'9" is at a disadvantage because he's only 6'9" as a pivot man. They don't really have Kemp is not a jump shooter, as we've seen already, and this team has a problem from the perimeter themselves when it comes to their front line.
Jackson. And Kemp on the rebound. Recall the Sonic visit last year. How you do, John? Cage pulled out and able to hit, and the game is tied at 17. Seattle beat the Knicks here at the Garden. Sean Kemp had a sensational game.
Yes, handily they beat them by around 20 points, as I recall. And yet the Knicks won out in Seattle in an overtime game.
Knicks have won 2 of the last 3 against the Sonics. They will meet again late March in Seattle. Here's Wilkins. Yes. Knicks lead it 19-17.
Gerald took care of Marty Conlon, 6'10" height.
Pierce shooting, and the game is tied at 19. Ricky Pierce has 9. Knicks able to take advantage. On the break, Wilkins provides a 2-point Knick lead.
Charles Oakley on the perfect delivery. Well, it's clear, Marv, what the offense is for Seattle. Get the ball to Ricky Pierce and get away.
Pierce trying to lose Wilkins off a pick on the right side of your screen. Again, Jackson plays Payton very well. Forced him into that bad pass. Last touch by Ewing. It'll be Seattle ball when we come back. Timeout call. And we'll be back here at the Garden in a moment.
Well, Gerald Wilkins, after he had been burned by Pierce, was given the room in the corner to go one-on-one, and that he did. That's what Gerald has been doing a lot of lately, and the Knicks are recognizing that skill of his more by going to him.
And right at the start, we talked about the excellent play of the Knicks bench, which has been sparked by John Starks, and John Starks has just checked in, replacing Gerald Wilkins. Cage fires with the shot clock running down. Correction, Wilkins remains and Oakley sits down. So Starks for Oakley. Knicks go to the 3-guard alignment. Conlon on the rebound. And this is Nate McMillan who just came on. McMillan, 6-year man from North Carolina State, being guarded by Mark Jackson.
We talked about John Starks at the outset and about how his scoring has been so prolific of late. Yet he's in this game to put the lights out for Ricky Pierce. He's in here for defense now.
McMillan has tied it at 21. A minute 25 remaining in the first quarter. Ewing with the open shot. And the Knicks now lead at 23-21. Second field goal for Patrick Ewing. He has 5. In just a moment, Anthony Mason will come on, as will Greg Anthony. We come up on 1 minute remaining in the first quarter. And Starks all over Pierce, and that forced the turnover. Here come Anthony and Mason. In the clobbering of the Nets last night, extensive garbage time, and the bench saw quite a bit of action.
Both point guards performed more than adequately last night for the Knicks. Anthony and Jackson both shot the ball well. They had 15 assists between them. They were really even in their contribution.
Nice feed from Wilkins. Ewing giving the Knicks a 25-21 lead. Pressure from Anthony on McMillan. McMillan and Pierce in the backcourt. Conlon up front with Cage and Kemp. And a pushing foul on Anthony. And here comes 0-0 Benoit Benjamin replacing Michael Cage. So Benjamin sat out the last 3 games with that cut right thumb. Was a doubtful for tonight. And he has come out here late in this opening quarter. McMillan down to 25 seconds remaining in the first. Knicks lead by 4. And they'll hold for a final shot. Anthony clearing it out, checking with Pat Riley. Ewing setting up high. And Anthony changed his mind. Ewing, if not the shot the Knicks had in mind. Final seconds of the quarter. Kemp getting down. Trying to go behind the back on Anthony. And that's the end of the first quarter. The score, the Knicks 25 and Seattle 21.
For me.
For the former Sonic, Xavier McDaniel, who hit 4 of 6 for 8 points. And earlier we asked him about his frame of mind going into tonight's game against his former
If I go out there tonight and take it personal, then we may lose. If I go out there and play with a team concept, then I know we can beat these guys. There's no doubt about it. I know we can beat them. You know, and that's what it is. It's not taking anything personal, you know, because maybe if I got traded when I was a second-year player, Kyle, I think I'd try to come out and get 40 or 50 against him tonight. But tonight, I just spoke to my game. And we beat him.
Well, a mature outlook from the X-Man. Starks for 3. John Starks hitting from downtown. And the Knicks now lead 28-21. Xavier McDaniel with a good start, sitting down. The Knicks now have gone to the bench. Pierce. And the Knicks lead at 28-23. Knicks with the 3 guards. Starks with Anthony and Wilkins, along with Mason and Ewing. Minute gone by in the second. Conlon had it wrestled away and tied up by Mason.
Conlon did well to stay with Mason.
There's Kiki Vandeweghe replacing Darryl Wilkins last night against the Nets. Kiki in 20 minutes of playing time, 6 for 9, had season high of 15 and hit 3 out of 3 from downtown.
And that 20 minutes was important for Kiki to get the touch. And he showed a lot of people that he's got the touch.
Eddie Johnson has come on for Ricky Pierce. Pierce, the high man, with 11. Paul Mahalik says, do it again. Bad toss. They'll jump once again.
Well, this is, excuse me, Marv, Benoit's first game now, first appearance in 4 games. Benoit Benjamin.
Knicks by 5 as they control the tip. Anthony, that's 2-point land. And Benjamin rebound. Johnson, Benjamin, Conlon up front. And Benjamin was hit on the reach-in.
Interesting how Ewing immediately went to double team and totally left Benjamin alone. And he just rolled down the middle and got that return pass.
And now Ewing replaced by Oakley. So Benjamin to the line.
Benoit's been playing 35 minutes a game on the average this season. His numbers are not that impressive, though, at 14 a game.
Knicks lead it by 4. Vandeweghe, no hesitation. On target, but hit the back of the rim. Kiki Vandeweghe has been a forgotten man, and his shooting percentage has suffered. He's dipped down to a career low 39%. Thus he's been in and out of the lineup. Vandeweghe on the rebound. And hears it from the crowd.
Well, it was a sweeping rebound, not the kind you usually see out of Kiki, and people notice that.
Anthony's pass backfired.
It's back very well defensively.
And he stepped out. It will be Nick Paul. Michael Cage returns, replacing Sean Kemp, who has not scored. Sean Kemp, youngest player in the NBA last season, and averaged 15 points at the tender age of 21. Starks. Benjamin got a piece of it. Here comes McMillan. Starks going for the steal and was able to tip it away. Knicks have a 4-on-1. Starks for Mason. And he's hit. Fouled by Cage.
We got to look at the speed of Anthony Mason on that play. Push the ball out. The best thing he did after scooping that ball up was to push it forward, get rid of it. Take another look at it. Starks kept pursuing McMillan. And then he gave it up, made the defense commit, and then got the return pass nicely.
That is 3 fouls on Michael Cage.
Anthony Mason with that very strong game last night, 12 points, 10 rebounds, his first career double-double, and he looks like his career will have many of them. He has been impressive right from the beginning of this season.
And happy to do it against a club that let him go. Anthony Mason did have shots with both the Nets and the Denver Nuggets.
I met Mary Mason on the ticket line outside before the game. I was buying some tickets for Saturday, and his mom was there, Mary, very proud of him, needless to say, and looking forward to his 25th birthday coming up this Saturday.
Were you attempting to sell Mary a couple of tickets? Little hustle job?
No, I was there like she was, just waiting online.
Was she buying tickets?
Yes.
No, you weren't.
No, I was. Are you kidding me?
Eddie Johnson.
She was actually picking up her ticket left by her son tonight. I said, I hope he left it for us. She said, he better.
It'll be Seattle ball. And they'll move it back down court with the ball not making. Now they say, okay, apparently it was touched. And Seattle will throw in from backcourt. 3 minutes gone by in the second quarter, and the Knicks lead it by the score of 29-24. Marv Albert, John Andres, Al Troutward, Walt, Clyde Frazier from the Garden. Alvin Clyde will be along at halftime. Knicks and the Sonics meeting for the first time this season. Knicks have won the last 2. They've won 8 of the last 9 for an overall record of 12-6. And they've been perfect here at home. Conlon held by Vanderwerf. And on the road, the Knicks have come a long way. They're 5-6 away from the Garden. They've won 5 of the last 6 on the road after they dropped their first 5 away from home. Benjamin working against Oakley. Knicks now lead 29-26.
Benoit Benjamin at 7 feet can shoot that jump shot with no problem if he can get in close as he did on that move. Nicely done by him.
Vanderway, yes.
You see the split-second extra time he had. He doesn't always get that, but when he gets it, he's deadly.
Hickey was on target with his first shot that bounded off the back of the rim. Good play by Oakley, and Benjamin able to get to it. 8 on the shot clock. McMillan.
Oh, what a great drive. Then he finished it with the left.
Knicks 31, Sonics 28. Anthony penetrating, Strip able to recover, and hit. Knicks lead it by 5. McMillan being played by Anthony. Ewing getting set to return. Conlon had the left hand closed. Johnson Double team. Good defense again by the Knicks. And that was last touched by Eddie Johnson. Here's Sean Kemp making his return along with Patrick Ewing. Charles Oakley will sit down. 7:08 remaining in this second quarter. And the Knicks lead Seattle 33-28. Substitutions by both clubs. Gary Payton is back. And Payton will be matched with Anthony. Shot clock is at 8. They collapse on Ewing. He's looking to give it up. Mason with the tip. And Benjamin rebound.
Knicks shooting has really gone downhill in the second quarter.
6.5 remaining in the second. Starks giving away some interest to Johnson. Knicks now lead it 33-30.
Eddie Johnson is such a fine shooter, much like Ricky Pierce, and when he gets hot, should he keep getting the ball, he can be murdered. He keeps rising.
Noted in the past for coming off the bench, but he is now in the starting lineup. Last season with Eddie Johnson as a starter, the Sonics went 18-9. Ricky Pierce getting set to return. Benjamin on a pick and roll. It counts on the foul on Vandeweghe.
Oh, he punished Vandeweghe too. Doesn't have the body for Benoit, who is a big guy. What an impressive move by Benjamin.
And there is cameraman Bill Tynan. And John, we're told that he had to rush home because he was called by his wife Nancy. And Nancy said, Bill, you better go because I'm having a baby. And there goes Bill.
You did. Oh, yeah. As I was saying, any knucklehead can score, but rebounding takes brains. And wit. And good looks. And charm. And a nice haircut. And a warm heart. And big shoes. And a kind disposition. And a beautiful smile. And a certain savoir faire. Don't you agree? Most certainly. And a catchy slogan. And a nice logo.
It is now
Successor weekly look at upcoming NFL matchups. That's around the NFL right here on the MSG Network, the best in the game. Benoit Benjamin to the foul line, looking to complete a three-point play and looking to tie the game. Really threw an air ball.
Knicks have been unable to get sustained running. You know that's what they want to do against Seattle, as they do against every team. And they've been forced into this half-court offense, and they have not been succeeding thus far in the second quarter.
Yeah, the Knicks shooting off in the second after the good shooting first quarter. They're now 3 for 12 from the field here in the second. Knicks get a break. They'll get it back. 33-32. Knicks by 1 with 5:25 remaining in this first half. Xavier McDaniel getting set to return. He got off to the hot start. Anthony from downtown. Johnson with Benjamin and Kemp up front. Payton and Pierce in the backcourt. Pierce being guarded now by Vandeweghe. Nice pass from Pierce. And a reach-in called on Payton.
I get the feeling that this crowd, which comes tonight in a very positive frame of mind, the way the Knicks have been playing, wants to cheer. And there's nothing for them to cheer about right now. They seem frustrated.
We have not seen many thrilling moments, and that also tied in with the fact that I guess there are two ways of looking at it. You can say, well, the not shooting well right now, or to the tough defense. And the defense has been tight at both ends, but we have not had any spectacular moments. Xavier McDaniel is back. He hit 4 of 6 in his first quarter stint. Mason puts the move on Benjamin. What a move! And how about that soft touch with the big man all over him? He didn't desperately let the ball go. He still got it up softly. The Knicks 35 and the Sonics 32. It will be Seattle ball with 8 on the shot clock. Gerald Wilkins, who just returned, got a piece of it. Incidentally, we will have a report on Bill and Nancy Tynan right before the commercial break. You saw one of our crack cameramen here on the MSG Network, Bill Tynan, race home. Off the block, here comes Anthony. Nancy Tynan about to have a baby. Bill got the call and headed off in dramatic fashion, and we'll pass on a report as soon as we get some news. McDaniel for 3. Yes. Oh, Xavier is red hot. He was only 1 for his last 6 from downtown. He now has 11. The Knicks lead by 6.
So Kemp kind of dared him to take that shot, didn't have the hand up, invited it, and Xavier gracefully accepted it.
3.5 remaining first quarter. Benjamin forced it. Rejected by Ewing. It will be Nick Ball.
Boy, if you're 7 feet tall and have your jump shot blocked, that means you are not too sharp on the execution.
20-second timeout has been called by the Knicks. This program is authorized by Madison Square Garden Productions Incorporated solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or the use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this event without the express written consent of Madison Square Garden Productions Incorporated is prohibited. A reminder, the Knicks back in action on Friday night as they take on the NBA champion Chicago Bulls at Chicago Stadium. And we'll be on the air starting at 8:30 here on MSG. The Knicks going up against Michael and the Bulls on Friday night. Chicago Bulls greatly affected by the publishing of the controversial book, John. They reeled off 14 straight victories. They're off to the terrific start, 16 and 3, and people said, they'll be sniping at each other. What with the revelations in the book? But as it turns out, there has been no effect at all on what has taken place on the court.
This is a very fine commentary on the leadership on and off the court of the Chicago Bulls.
Wilkins rejected. Just under 3 minutes remaining in this first half. And the Knicks now lead it 38-32. Payton being played by Anthony. Pierce with the step. And a nice tip. Eddie Johnson able to sweep it home. The Knicks lead is now 38-34.
One of the problems I think the Knicks are having on offense is they're getting their shots with no problem, but they're not really great shots most of the time. A little extra attempt at passing the ball to a better player, a better position rather, would work more. But they're getting their shots no problem, but they could be better shots.
Rick King, the 7'2" rookie from Nebraska, has come on for the first time for Seattle. The Sonics now take a timeout. Starts, created the steal. Wilkins. Tri-County Marathon Days are here. Now through December 23rd, Tri-County is giving away $50,000. $50,000, no purchase necessary. No strings attached. Tri-County vendors want to be your Santa Claus and give you Tri-County dollars. It's all part of Tri-County's marathon of holiday savings. All you have to do is come to Tri-County and see our recession-beating prices on everything from toys to furniture. It could be you. It could be your brother. It could even be your mother. It's all here. $50,000 in Tri-County dollars. So come on over to the Tri-County flea markets in Levittown and Smithtown today.
Picture this. He comes crashing through my garden like
Now calm down. Got the deals that we want. Made my heart throb with more both cars at North Shore Honda Saab.
North Shore Honda Saab. Conveniently located where Glen Cove Road and Route 107 meet.
Well, John, this answers the question. They are not the same person. Actually, if you've read them, you know that.
You mean the Smith brothers?
Yes. George Vesey of the New York Times, Peter Vesey of USA Today and NBC Network. And this is the first time they are actually talking to each other in years. Sitting courtside and showing the action.
I was wondering if they're exchanging puck shots.
Yeah. And Mason will go to the foul line. Rick King, the number 1 draft pick of Seattle, 7'2", 260-pound rookie from Nebraska, called for the foul. The Knicks now lead the Sonics 39-34 with just under 2 minutes remaining in this first half. McDaniel up front with Mason and Ewing, Jackson and Wilkins in the backcourt as Peyton handles against Jackson.
You couldn't allow hand guarding, hand checking in the NBA. Mark Jackson's had his hand on Peyton's back for about 8 seconds.
Well, that has not been a consistent call or non-call. It's a tough call, though. It's tough to, as you know, it's tough to measure resistance.
It was gently on his back.
Very close to a 5-second violation. Pretty fast.
That's the greatest move when you're overplayed. Jackson was playing Peyton very tightly, as he has been, but Peyton then snuck in and went back door on him.
Nice pass from Rick King. It will be Nick Ball, 1:28 remaining in this first half. The Knicks now lead by 3.
In this lackluster first half, both teams.
John, I myself am enjoying the basketball from an aesthetic point of view.
You can enjoy lackluster ball if you want.
I would have to agree with you. The crowd has been quiet, understandably. Just trying to annoy you.
That's succeeding. Both teams, though, the Sonics last night in Chicago played a tough game, 3-point loss, and the Knicks, of course, had exercise last night, although not a tough game.
Strong move by Ricky Pierce. The Knicks lead is now 1. Last night in Chicago, Bulls won by 5, beating the Sonics. Seattle essentially played only 8 players last night. They jumped in front 10-2, and then they fell off. They fell behind by 16 points in the second quarter. Sonics had won 3 in a row prior to the loss last night. Knicks get the new 24. Wilkins for 3. So the Knicks are hitting from downtown, and they now lead it 42-38. We're down to 35 seconds remaining in the half. Eddie Johnson. Ewing getting inside on King. And the Knicks will hold for a final shot.
With King guarding Ewing, it looked like it was going to be illegal for a moment.
And Jackson gets inside. Knicks lead by 6. Crowd wanted to travel on Eddie Johnson. Instead, a foul is called with 3 7/10 seconds remaining. Jackson called for the push. Coming up at halftime, Bob Page at the MSG Sports Desk. We'll take a look at what is going on elsewhere. And Al Troutwood, Walt Frazier will have a look at the highlights of this first half. King didn't want to take the shot. And Pierce was fouled. Not a good foul. McDaniel called for it. And so with time having run out, Ricky Pierce now looking to move past Larry Bird into the number 2 spot, all-time most consecutive free throws. That is 72 in a row. A little shaky, though, John.
Yes, he massaged that rim. Payne where the lead is, showing us where Ricky Pierce stands now all-time.
Murphy, the all-time leader. That one was solid. So Ricky Pierce has now hit 73 in a row. 5 for 5 tonight as he was last night. So tough to do it with no one on the court. The Knicks at the half, leading Seattle by the score of 44-40.
Did you tell your boss you're quitting?
No.
In 5 games with injured ribs, attempting to jam over Dikembe. Ball hits the rim and goes in anyway. Mutombo has done some jamming of his own, but not much. He has only 4 points, ties the game here 28-all, late first quarter with that move. Now, as you have noticed, sitting courtside tonight is Magic Johnson, his first trip to New York since the tragic announcement of his illness and retirement. Magic worked out with his old coach, Pat Riley, in the Garden late this afternoon. He then told a press conference afterwards he still plans to play for the U.S. Olympic team this summer.
When you got Michael Jordan, Pippen, Ewing, Robinson, the power that we have, I think that there won't have to be a lot of minutes for me to be playing, but I'll be ready. I only know one way. I only know how to play one way. I only know how to prepare one way. I prepare myself for everything that I do, and I'll be ready for that situation.
In college basketball tonight, Rutgers hosts Seton Hall in a game that might be said to be for bragging rights in the entire state of New Jersey.
Well, I suppose so. I think the most important games are your league games, but for Seton Hall and Rutgers, we haven't really beaten them for players and recruiting much in the last couple of years, so it'll be an interesting battle.
Also in college ball, John McLeod and Notre Dame being hammered at Boston College tonight, 45-22 at halftime. I'll have more right after this.
Okay, now that Bob Page has brought you back to date on what's happening in the world of sports, let's bring you up to speed on this basketball game with Magic Johnson in the front row. The New York Knicks lead the Sonics 44-40. The leading scorer summary is brought to you by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. Advantage Jeep and Eagle. Let's start with the Knicks. Only one scorer in double figures. Xavier McDaniel hit his first 4 shots and now leads the Knicks with 11. Gerald Wilkins and the rest of the Knicks down the line. As for the Seattle SuperSonics, only one double-figure scorer, too. That's Ricky Pierce with 15 points. And the rest of that scoring for Seattle in a very dismal first-half scoring and shooting performance. 14 turnovers for Seattle. Back in courtside with Walt Clyde Frazier. Well, Clyde, all we had to do was say Sean Kemp was going to be a great dunking star here tonight, and he has no points. But as for me, I kind of thought the Sonics were lagging and dragging.
Yeah, you're right. Very lackluster performance by both teams. The Sonics outstanding on the defense, though, creating gridlock inside against Ewing. The Knicks have been unable to hit from the perimeter.
You didn't like that?
Yeah, that was good.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's take a look at the highlights from the first half. They, as always, are brought to you by Minolta, creators of the world's most responsive SLR cameras, the new Maxim XI series. Let's start it off with Xavier McDaniel. Early on, he was the offensive story. Had the hot hand, as I said, hit his first 4 shots.
Yeah, continuing his outstanding play. The X-Man here getting out in transition. Sweet deal by Jackson. The X-Man exasperating his former teammates with the sweet stuff.
Clyde, you mentioned Mark Jackson. He ran the show early. The Knicks really were in control from the outset, and here a good steal.
Yeah, Jackson with deft hands tonight. They're coming up with the loot, pushing it up in transition, so Jackson continues to astound off the bench as well as he scoops and hoops.
The crowd had very little to cheer about early. There were so little exciting moves. Here's one from Nate McMillan off the bench for Seattle.
Yeah, Nate McMillan, a good man off the bench, 6'5", has some dexterity. Here you see him penetrating inside, wheeling around the Knicks off the glass.
Now the Sonics are hoping that the maturation rate of Gary Payton continues to expand. He showed some stuff in the lane early.
Yeah, Ewing had been lurking and irking, but here Payton is looking for Ewing, so he'll put up a left-handed jump shot over Jackson, who lost him in the lane.
Clyde, we're looking at a Knicks team that's been playing so well. And here's a game in which Seattle comes out slow. The Knicks seem to be playing at their level, but as the Knicks have been lately, playing well enough to be right there and in control, knowing that I think if this game comes down to it, they can grab control.
Yeah, but they've been baffled by the defense of the Sonics. As I mentioned, they're double-teaming Ewing inside, forcing the Knicks to the perimeter, and they've been unable to hit their shots.
Yeah, that's right. Sonics start tonight with 6'9" Michael Cage starting at center. You'd think Patrick Ewing would have a monster night. So far, not the case. We'll be back for the second half here at the Garden. Knicks by 4.
Patrick's late 1917. Here's Anthony.
My neighbor Fred, running around town looking for bargains on tools. I said, Fred, the place to count on for tools is Sears. This Craftsman 95-piece mechanics tool set with 3 ratchets is just $77, including the case. Look at this, made in America, guaranteed forever, and all for just 77 bucks. Nobody but Sears is going to give you all that. No way, no how.
Just $77 through Saturday. Made in America, guaranteed forever, only at Sears.
Caddyshack Golf, Long Island's finest discount pro shop, announces our holiday savings blitz. Now through Christmas Day, save up to 50% on everything you need for the golfers on your list. Take 20 to 50% off all golf apparel. Take 15% off all golf shoes. Every golf bag has been reduced. The holiday savings blitz at Caddyshack Golf. Get up to half off our low prices now through Christmas Day. And ask about gift certificates for 6 hours of golf lessons for only $75. Caddyshack Golf, now with 2 great locations, Farmingdale on New Highway and East Meadow at Eisenhower Park.
American Soundcraft now has the car audio equipment everyone's talking about, the Eclipse digital sound processor. What's DSP? Imagine taking a studio-recorded CD and duplicating the sound and feel of a stadium, a club, a cathedral, or a concert hall, all with the touch of a button in your car. You'll feel like you're really there. Our reputation is built on technical perfection and authorized dealer service.
Technophone cellular bag phone, only $99.
B Manufacturer's Warehouse. Buy direct. $99 all-wool men's suits. That's right, $99. Comparative values to $350. Entire inventory, 9,000 suits, $89 to $119, none higher. Open 3 days a week only, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Buy direct. S&B Manufacturer's Warehouse is now open to the public. Call 1-800-834-MENS off Route 110, 1 block south of Adventureland. Remember, call 1-800-834-MENS for our all-wool $99 suits.
New York Knicks basketball is brought to you in part by Reebok, who reminds you that life is short, play hard.
So far, a relatively easy night for the statisticians, except for the one who's keeping track of Seattle's turnovers. 44-40 favoring the Knicks. Now, moments ago, Patrick Ewing was honored by Sharp as the Knicks Sharp Electronics Sharpshooter of the Month for November. Patrick shot at a .560 clip for the month, shot a blistering 71% over the month's first 4 games. That's Juan Colada, National Sales Manager, Consumer LCD Products of Sharp's LCD Products Group, making the presentation. In addition, Sharp is donating a color TV and a VCR to the Boys and Girls Club of New York in Patrick's name. Now to carry you into the second half, Marv Albert and John Andres.
Thank you, Al. And a look at the shooting percentages in the first half. Seattle 17 for 34 off the good shooting second quarter, while the Knicks faltered in the second following the good start.
Yes, the Knicks went down badly. They lost the touch entirely, and that's what they've got to work on here in the third quarter. Turnovers haunting Seattle, which certainly helped the Knicks a lot. They turned those 14 turnovers into 15 Knicks points, and as you can see, that's a big advantage the Knicks enjoy in that department. That's the constant. Good defense causes turnovers.
And we're set for the start of play in the third quarter. The Knicks with a 44-40 lead on the Sonics.
Bench as usual, looming important. Time for New York Telephone's call to the bench. This call to the bench is brought to you from the New York Telephone Regional Calling Area. It's bigger than you think. Sonics right now with 9 points. Knicks with 11 points. Small numbers, I'm sure, based on what will happen in the first half, rather, what will happen throughout the rest of the game.
Seattle SuperSonics with a record of 11-8. They're only 2.5 games out of first in the Pacific Division. The LA Lakers leading the way, surprisingly, despite the absence of Magic Johnson and Bloody Divac. While the New York Knicks at 12-6. They have won 8 of their last 9. They're 7-0 here at the Garden. Only the Knicks and Cleveland undefeated at home. Cleveland 8-0 in Richfield. Well, both clubs are ready to go, and we have a delay, and I don't see the officials, John. Were they locked in their room? Where are they?
Most unusual moment.
We put a call out to Paul Mahalik, Terry Durham, and Tommy Wood. Let's get to the bottom of this one. We're ready. The players are ready. The fans are ready.
Well, maybe the officials are tired of the abuse, and with all the officials here in the audience wearing suits and ties, maybe they want to give them a shot.
And here they come in dramatic fashion. We'll have to get this story.
Ewing can't resist giving Paul Mahalik a little bit of kidding.
Nice of the guys to show.
Probably what Ewing said.
I know they have a very busy schedule. Well, the third quarter underway. Mark Jackson and Gerald Wilkins in the backcourt for the Knicks. Patrick Ewing, Charles Oakley, and Xavier McDaniel up front. Ewing again draws the double team and pops it out. McDaniel from downtown with the air ball.
Xavier claiming he was fouled. Not getting any sympathy, though, in that department. The Knicks with the biggest shooting problem in the first half, oddly enough, was Patrick Ewing with a 3 for 10 in 20 minutes of play.
Payton, and on the switch by Oakley. Payton and Pierce in the backcourt. Cage with Kemp and Johnson up front. Sean Kemp has cut that Knick lead to 2. McDaniel plays well by Kemp. Xavier will go to the foul line. And the Sonics looking for an offensive foul on McDaniel.
Xavier competing well under the boards there with tall people around him. Xavier getting the ball in close. He sensed the taller players around him, though, but he keeps alive on the ball until he draws that foul.
2-5-9's one from...
Yeah. Xavier McDaniel, a first-round pick of the Seattle SuperSonics back in '85. He spent 5 years with Seattle. Knicks lead at 45-42.
Seattle got quite a package for Xavier from Phoenix. Eddie Johnson and 2 number 1s. Nice exchange there with Ricky Pierce and Michael Cage finishing that play.
Sonics did have a distraction recently. Some of the players upset with Sean Kemp and Bernard Benjamin after they both missed recent practices without valid excuses. Nate McMillan was quoted as saying, well, everyone was focused on winning. Now I'm not sure what's going to happen, but this club has done well. Jackson, and the Knicks now lead it 47-44. This is game 2 of a 4-game road trip for Seattle, and they have won 3 of the last 4. Oh, what a shot. Pierce and Oakley on a collision. Oakley was trying to draw the offensive foul. Charles looks all right, but Pierce appears dazed.
Oh, he should be dazed. I'm surprised he got up as easily as he did, taking another look at it. Charles seemed to turn that right shoulder into Pierce, and if you move with the contact as the defensive player, you are committing the foul.
This is not an easy road trip for the Sonics. They played Chicago last night. They have the Knicks here. Friday they play in Boston. Saturday at Philadelphia. Nick Ball. Seattle has yet to start their intended starting lineup this season. That will be Kemp and McKee, Derek McKee, along with Benjamin at center, and Payton and Pierce in the backcourt. Patrick Ewing has not been able to break out.
He just twisted his ankle as well.
Pierce kept alive by Kemp, and he's hit from behind. Foul on Oakley, that's his third.
He's trying to walk it off. It's always amazing how when a game starts and you look at the matchups and you say, in this case, Cage, Ewing, Big Edge, Ewing, amazing how it sometimes goes the other way. Ewing with that 3 for 10 first half. I think sometimes when it appears to come too easily, you have an automatic letdown, physically and mentally. You just expect you're going to roll, a team and an individual. All of a sudden, Patrick Ewing is not having a solid game thus far.
It's the Knicks 47, Seattle 46. Sonics wanted to travel on Gerald Wilkins. Instead, a nice move to give the Knicks a 3-point lead. Gerald has 11. And he's the high man for the Knicks. Ricky Pierce leading Seattle with 15. Correction, Xavier McDaniel, high man with 12, followed by Wilkins with 11. Cage. And again, Seattle to the line. Jackson called for the foul.
Sean Kemp is outstanding tonight in the sense that he is the big disappointment for Seattle. Kemp played 21 minutes of the first half, did not score, and had 7 rebounds, which is a good number, but the scoring is necessary from him. He comes off a very good game last night in Chicago. Shot the ball rather well, 7 out of 14, 10 for 10 from the line, 24 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. But he's quiet tonight.
You say he's outstanding?
He is outstanding in that he's not doing anything.
Standing out is what
standing out, okay.
Outstanding?
Well, I think it could be called outstanding. Well, you waving me off? You giving me the wave off?
I was trying to figure out what you're talking about, John.
Outstandingly.
Oh, I see. Jackson took the hit. You know, John, sometimes you have your own man.
My own drummer, huh?
That is number 4 on Michael Cage. Benoit Benjamin made his return in the first half. He missed the last 3 games with the cut on his finger, and Benoit played 10 minutes in the first half. Mark Jackson to the line for the first time. This game has really picked up, hasn't it, here in the third?
You have your own language, Marv. I don't know what you mean. It's a very dead third.
So the Knicks lead it 51-48. Jackson continues to pressure Payton. Shot clock is down to 5. There's Cage to the reverse. And they get the new 24. Wilkins called for the foul. Thought he had pulled it off.
There is aggressiveness for the Knicks, however, on defense, and it's coming from the backcourt to a great degree. Jackson and Joe, they're doing a good job.
Knicks with their 4th team foul. Sonics with only 2. Pierce isolated against Wilkins. McDaniel. It's a 3-point Knicks lead with 4 minutes gone by in the third. Here's Payton. So Payton is hit on 3 out of 6 from the field, and the Sonics are now down by 1. Gary Payton had his problems early last season as a rookie. That's a 3-point attempt for Wilkins. Payton did not show a consistent jump shot and struggled with floor leadership till late in the season. Jackson, nice release, avoiding the block attempt by Kemp.
And Payton had an amazing college career, and some voting he was the college player of the year 2 years ago, the all-time leading scorer in Oregon State history.
And Kemp gets the roll. Knicks again by one. Well, Payton's mistake came out of college in very brash style. He always liked to talk it up. And I get the idea as Jackson fires, and the Knicks now lead 55-52. I get the idea that players were usually up for Gary Payton the first time around.
He's made his mark defensively, which is unusual for a rookie.
Has great passing instincts. He will be a very sound player in the NBA. Johnson. And again, the Knicks lead is one.
Xavier McDaniel caught in that up-tall stance, and as a result, his man waltzed around him. You might recall a week or so ago, the assistant coaches on the Knicks staff were pointing out to Xavier, he's got to be down, bend those knees in order to play good defense.
McDaniel on a good look from Jackson.
You know, Mark, 3, 4, 5 passes, and Seattle is as soft as it gets in the NBA defensively. Not like this man used to play defense, their coach, K.C. Jones.
Yes, he was one of the great defensive players, Hall of Famer. 8 championship rings in 9 years with the Boston Celtics. We'll be right back.
Bad news. Neek's got new shoes. He's got custom fit and support on top. Flip a switch. He's got it below, too.
It's the new Reebok double pump. Now get back up there.
The double pump. Pretty scary, huh?
You've been up in the air for hours. Now you've got to make up the time. Aren't you glad Hertz has a faster, easier way to rent a car? #1 Club Gold. No paperwork, no stopping at counters, nothing to slow you down. You go straight to our Gold parking area, where your car is waiting, ready to go. It's our fastest way to rent a car.
I'm gonna make it.
Call Hertz today for low daily rates on Lincolns with free unlimited mileage.
We're America's wheels.
Let's say every time you watched your card go into an ATM, you knew there was a chance it was never coming out. Well, at Citibank, we designed our CitiCard banking center so your card never leaves your hand. All they need is a quick dip, and you're ready to control all your accounts with just a touch here or there. See, at Citibank, our machines not only give you the power to control all your money 24 hours a day, we make sure that power never gets taken away. All day, all night, all week, CitiCard banking centers. Not just banking, Citi banking.
6:06 remaining in the third quarter. Knicks up by 3. Toyota matchup time. We'll look at the big guys and see how they're matching up. At this point, Ewing should have 25 and Cage should have about 12. That's not the case right now, as Patrick Ewing has had an off shooting night. 3 of 11, 7 points, and Cage right with him. If K.C. Jones knew that this would be the scoring at this point in the game, he'd have to be very happy about it.
And the Sonics are down by 3 with 6:06 remaining in the third quarter. Just had a little chat during the timeout with one of the officials, Terry Durham, and asked why the delay in the officials making their way onto the court for the start of the second half. And Terry said we were hit with a delay of game and a technical foul. No one came for us. We were sitting back in the locker room and did not realize the halftime period had elapsed. The basket, will not go for Seattle. It's an offensive foul. It's on Pierce. So the Knicks will take over. John Starks check back in.
Pierce guarded closely by Joe Wilkins and gave a little shove as he went up for that shot. Usually with the left hand, the non-shooting hand. Actually, if he could shove and shoot at the same time with the same hand, that would be a special guy. Patrick is gingerly going up and down the court, favoring that ankle a bit.
is only 4 for 12 for 9 points. Knicks lead 59-54. Knicks have led all the way. Sonics have not had the lead. Shot clock is down to 1. It's a 24-second violation.
Good combination, squashing of Kemp by Xavier McDaniel and Mark Jackson.
And do you realize, John, that is the most excitement that we have had. So I look at the turnover total. Sonics 17, Knicks only 5. The 24-second violation on Seattle getting the biggest reaction from the crowd. Ewing able to get it back. 4:45 remaining in the third quarter. Jackson. Mark Jackson has had a good third quarter, 7 points. Here in the first 7 of his 12. Biggest lead of the game, a margin of 6 for the Knicks. McDaniel with the open jump.
That is oohing and eyeing at passing now. They don't even need scoring. They'll take anything.
Pierce off the double team. Ricky Pierce with 17. Knicks lead by 3. Well, they go to the isolation for Wilkins, but the Sonics double team starts with another 3-point field goal, hit 1 in the first half.
Well, the door is open for any of the Knicks to get hot. Starks seems to be a second-half player.
Crowd wanting to travel. Johnson off the offensive board. And the Knicks on the run. Starks from Jackson. Well, that's the play of the game. And a timeout being called by Seattle. The Knicks by 8. 3:16 left in the third. Like to forget about. McDaniel getting down court for 5-2.
Not expensive.
It's chic.
And it's oh so marvelous.
It's exciting.
And casual, too.
It's top name brand men's and ladies' fashions.
At Effie's famous affordable prices.
With great selection, personal service, Effie's men's and Effie's ladies.
Why wait for a sale when it's always a sale at Effie's?
Remember, when you're having good times with friends, use good sense and drink responsibly, because friends know when to say when. A reminder from Budweiser.
The Knicks in the midst of a 13-6 run and now lead 64-56. It's their biggest lead of the night. Nate McMillan has checked back in along with Benoit Benjamin and Marty Conlon. Starks able to knock it aside, and they'll jump it up. Marty Conlon and Patrick Ewing on the tie-up. Marty Conlon played briefly in the first half. He's a 6'10" rookie out of Providence. Impressed the Sonic free agent and has made the club and is getting the playing time. Well, they say Starks will jump it now against Conlon.
Conlon also was seen at City College this year in the Summer League here. He stayed busy.
Whoa, nice cross. The officials still have the problem throwing the ball up on the jump ball.
The only answer, Marv, is they have to grow. Yes, they have to get taller.
And McDaniel is fouled. It is called on Benjamin. So Xavier McDaniel to the free throw line. So you would have that as the dictum from Rod Thorne. NBA office, officials must throw taller. And you know, the NBA is so professional these days about everything. I mean, there is not a loose end. It's so organized. The progress has been unbelievable. And I'm sure that David Stern will figure it out. Who would be interested in that subject himself, I think, personally. Are you saying as a shorter man? Well, I think he'd like to be about 4 inches taller. It would make him much more effective around the net. Sport of tennis, one of his loves. But I would think they're working on it seriously. That's good thinking, John. Nick lead remains at 8. Nick free throw shooting has been poor this evening. 6 for 12. Pierce able to save it, lost it. McDaniel took a couple of steps, or was he pushed? Foul on Kemp. See, that might have looked like he was pushed when he took the steps, and Kemp seems puzzled. Take another look at it now. Xavier coming up court quickly. Kemp right on him, but I think Xavier walked of his own volition. He didn't get help. Coming up on 2 minutes remaining in the third. Ewing had it poked away. It's a 4-on-3. Pierce. The Knicks now lead 64-58. You know, you could put this guy under the microscope. He's 6'5". There's nothing superimposing about him physically. And yet he is so different from 6'5" players around him. He gets his shot off with ease, it seems. He's never denied what he wants offensively. He's a player the Knicks were interested in last year. He was acquired from Milwaukee in exchange for Dale Ellis last February. Kemp met by Starks. Kemp. And he'll go to the line. Xavier knew what was coming. Kemp was going to go into one of his triple pumps before he slammed that ball, and Xavier knows his game. He took it away. Sonics 10 for 12 from the line. Kemp a 79% free throw shooter. He became the permanent starter at power forward after Xavier McDaniel was dealt. Opened the spot for Derek McKee at small forward. Derek McKee is a major loss for the SuperSonics. Now with a sprained groin, not on the trip. He's missed the last 5 games.
Second leading scorer, 18 a game behind Ricky Pierce.
Knicks lead 64-60. 1:15 left in the third. McDaniel stopped by Kent Wilkins on the recovery. And Benjamin with the rebound. Pierce. Ewing. Seattle bench wanted to travel. Knicks now by 6. Patrick Ewing with 5 out of 14 from the field. He has 11 points. Pierce now guarded by Starks. Conlon missed the tip and then called for the loose ball foul. Seattle is over the limit, so Ewing will go to the line. Many of you may wonder how John used his tickets tonight. Well, there's Kathleen Turner. Kathleen taking advantage of the very close association that he has with my broadcast partner.
I'm Mr. Nice Guy, all right? I'm Mr. Nice Guy.
So Ewing to the foul line. A star-studded evening. Rob Lowe on hand.
Hey, with the yawn.
Knicks lead at 68-60. Down at 20 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Shot clock at 5. Conlon. And tipped home. McMillan sneaking in there at 6'5". Final seconds of the quarter. Jackson with the no-look pass, recovered by Starks. After 3 here at the Garden. The Knicks 68, Seattle SuperSonics 62.
Came in on the bounce. Nicely done by him. And also very catchable. Another look at it. I mean, how can the defense bother with that? Whereas if they come in on a line drive, the defender can reach around and smack it away.
Foul called on Kemp. And Mason extends to an 8-point lead. Here's Michael Cage returning. And Payton will depart. Leads with 8 points. So the Knicks now lead at 75-66. Anthony with the steal. And the bucket. Greg Anthony showing his defensive skills and then gets a piece of it. And here's it from the crowd.
And how well he protected that ball when he went up for the shot.
Casey Jones looking to settle his team down has called for time.
Let's throw a party with your birthday money. I'm putting it into a MetLife State Street mutual fund. Balloons, a few friends, your big sister. Maybe a stock or bond fund, a money market or tax-exempt fund. In time, I could have thousands of dollars in my MetLife mutual fund. Thousands? What a party that could be. Get Met, it pays.
Sesame Street Live comes to the Paramount. Don't miss the family fun of Big Bird and the ABCs. Tickets available at the Garden box office in all Ticketmaster locations. Call 212-465-MSG1 for more information.
7 consecutive points for the Knicks. A couple of nice defensive plays by that man, the rookie from Nevada, Las Vegas, Greg Anthony. 8:43 remaining in the fourth quarter. Well, Mason tried to put the brakes on and call for the contact. The Knicks now lead 77-66. It is their biggest lead of the game.
The strength of Anthony Mason's chest was responsible for that foul. Most unusual to see a player like Cage at 6'9" go flying with a chest bump.
Harmon to the hook. Very nicely done.
Yes, very smooth. He's getting a lot of playing time, and with playing time, he gets smoother.
And Anthony took a shot that will put him on the line. McMillan, the team captain of the Seattle SuperSonics, called for his second foul.
Conlon at 6'10", Kiki Vandeweghe dealing with his size, and he's come a long way in this game alone with his shooting.
Anthony, a 69% free throw shooter. Knicks by 11. And some pressure being shown by Anthony. McMillan. It counts. He got the call on the continuation.
What a terrific move by Glenn McMillan. At 6'5", he used his height and speed. We saw speed there because Greg Anthony was right on him. Anthony's there with him. McMillan breaks loose, though. And Nate McMillan finishes that drive in fine form.
Reach and foul committed by Vandeweghe. McMillan, a second-round pick back in '86 out of North Carolina State. At one point, there was a thought to move him to small forward, but he remained at point guard when the rookie Gary Payton was slow in developing. And he is back at the point guard position, being matched with Greg Anthony. Anthony with a strong move. Well, he's playing well tonight. Anthony doing it at both ends. The Knicks lead 81-71. Greg Anthony is doing is making Nate McMillan work very hard. Good setup off the weed by the Sonics, who now trail by 8.
This game, Marv, is a good demonstration of team depth. The Knicks are mixing up. Pat Riley talked about versatility right when he took the job. Vandeweghe with the touch. But basically, Charles Oakley out there is a starter, the only starter for the Knicks, and he's there with 4 players off the bench, and they're doing fine. And this is not the first time. It's happened many times.
Benjamin has 7 points. The Knicks now lead 83-75. Just under 7 minutes remaining in the fourth. Anthony showing lots of confidence. Knicks lead by 10.
I think the Sonics, because they're missing McKee, and they're a little soft right now. Benjamin hasn't been playing the last 4 games till tonight. I think they are fatigued. They faced the Bulls last night in that wild Chicago stadium. McMillan on a nice drive. And they're soft defensively.
Knicks lead 85-77. Mason throwing the fake and then lost it. The Sonics are also short-handed because of injuries, so Pierce will go to the line. Patrick Ewing getting set. The return, foul called on Mason. That is 3 on Mason. Oakley sitting down. We're set for an update. Let's go to the MSG Sports Desk. Here's Bob Page.
Marv at Philly, watch the 2 African giants do battle under the boards. Rookie Dikembe Mutombo takes the rebound from Manute Bol, jams home 2 of his 16 points. The Nuggets now lead the 76ers in the 4th quarter. Back to you.
All right, Bob, 6:11 remaining in this 4th quarter. And Casey Jones doing some shuffling. Marty Conlon, Lloyd Benjamin sit down. Eddie Johnson and Michael Cage return. Ricky Pierce, 7 for 7 from the line. He's now hit 75 in a row. He is only 3 straight from catching Calvin Murphy, all-time NBA record, most consecutive free throws. Vandeweghe, earlier this evening, he passed by the runner-up, Larry Bird. Bird hit 71 in a row. Pierce played well by Starks. But McMillan right there, so the Sonics chipping away a steal by McMillan. Here's Pierce. And Kemp gets the rise out of the crowd. He brings the Sonics within 2. A 17-6 run by Seattle.
You like that? Oh, that's a preseason shot if I ever saw one. Bird.
Off the 3 on 2.
Is that your dad?
Well, as I was saying, Marv, the Sonics look very tired. They had a tough game last night, and they've decided to put together a 17-6 run, as you mentioned. Nate McMillan leading the way defensively, doing a fine job. And Ricky Pierce on the pass-off, and Sean Kemp finally got a slam dunk.
I thought, though, that was an excellent evaluation on your part.
At that moment, they turned it. Unfortunately, it was 90 seconds ago.
So here are the Sonics, trailing by as many as 13, now down by 2 off that good run.
What's significant to me is that Pat Riley, despite this run by Seattle, has not changed the lineup.
Ewing is up front with Mason and Vandeweghe. Starks and Anthony at the guard. Starks for 3. He's hit 4 out of 5 from downtown. John Starks into tonight just under 40% from 3-point range. Knicks lead by 5. 5 minutes remaining in the 4th. Jam of defense from the crowd. Shot clock at 5. Kemp from deep. And Ewing on the rebound, battling with his teammate, or the other way around. Vandeweghe involved with Ewing as a result. It will be Seattle ball.
Kiki Vandeweghe determined to grab some boards, and oddly enough, he gets tangled with Ewing.
Gerald Wilkins come on, replacing Vandeweghe. Pierce getting inside. The Knicks lead 88-85. 85. Ricky Pierce, my man with 25.
Seattle has 4 3-point shots in the last 6 games total.
Shot clock at 6. Anthony. Oh, Anthony trying to save it. It will be Seattle ball.
The rush shot, though, by him. And he also didn't have much vision. He was played tightly.
Crowd of 14,934 here at Madison Square Garden. Knicks play the Bulls in Chicago on Friday. Saturday night back home for the Celtics. And the whistle away from the ball. A holding foul on Starks. That's the second. Knicks with 14 fouls. Sonics also have 4.
You know how there are losses that you can accept, Marv? I mean, no coach would ever admit it, but down deep they could accept certain losses. Boston Garden last week, greatness of the third and the Celtics. This one would not be acceptable to Pat Riley.
In particular with the appearance that the Knicks had it in hand. Ewing with the reject. Shot clock is at 5. There's Kemp. And that is an offensive foul. Sean Kemp at that time was so involved in going showtime on the stuff. And that's a bad play.
He has such great skills. The ability to fake left in the middle of that move at 6'10" and go right and then go airborne as he did. When he gets it all together, and he does on occasion, he's murder.
3.5 to go in the fourth. Knicks with the ball. They lead by 3. Mason facing a double team and then commits the foul. That puts the Knicks over the limit.
Bad signs here for the Knicks because this game is now open to anybody who can get excellent for 3 minutes, if that's possible. There has been no excellence in this game, but there certainly can be a spark. And forget fatigue now because the Sonics are within smelling distance of a win.
Mason sitting down after picking up his 4th. Pat Riley discussing matters with assistant coach Dick Potter, Casey Jones. And Sean Kemp has brought the Sonics within 2. Sean Kemp coming on strong in the second half. 3:29 remaining in the fourth quarter. The Knicks now lead 88-87. Knicks led by as many as 13 earlier in this fourth quarter. Shot clock at 10. Here's McDaniel. And he was fouled. Good play by Anthony and scooping it to the open man, Xavier McDaniel.
They made it so difficult for Seattle because of the passing. They spread the court out. They used the whole court on that play. The ball moved around. Starks quickly got it into McDaniel.
I could not tell, Donnie.
Xavier also looking for a goaltend. Looked like Kemp injured his hand. He committed the foul. That's 5 on Kemp. And a timeout taken by the Sonics. And the Sonic trainer, Frank Furtado, is checking the hand of Sean Kemp, who is obviously in pain.
Blondie, I dare you. Try to blind me.
It was up to the races when MC Light, Blondie Divac, and Luke Perry jockeyed for position in a friendly game of horse played in its purest form. What followed was a 3-point shootout that broke every rule written on long-range shooting techniques. When the shameful exhibition finally ended, it was the Fresh Prince who was crowned 3-point king as he hit 5 out of 15 shots. Always the modest and humble gentleman will let the win go to his head.
I just won the 3-point contest. He ain't seen me, right?
It's easy.
Nah, man, see what it was? I was pressured, right? And I was feeling the pressure. And I was like, man, I got to drop some of these, right? So it was like, bang, bang. I hit like 17 of them in a row, like 17 in a row.
Our slam session featured the power dunking of actor Billy Wirth, power hunk Luke Perry, some innovative moves by Flea, and a Spud Webb-influenced Marky Mark. The younger Wahlberg took a dunk on the wild side, crushing the competition and confirming his brother's pre-contest prediction.
Monkey, I told you he was going to win. Nobody didn't believe me because I taught him how to do all that.
All right, we're just 5 from the foul line. Only 68% for the season. Call him commissioner, please. The new Coca-Cola Junior Knicks Basketball League commissioner announced today, Xavier McDaniel. 89-87. Knicks by 2 as we come up on 3 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Lloyd Benjamin is back in with Kemp the party. All right, here's Pierce getting it back out to Johnson. One on the 24, and McDaniel with the rebound. Decided to slow it down. They had a great possibility.
Funny to see Gerald Wilkins slowing things down. He loves to run.
Shot clock at 8. 2.5 remaining in this fourth quarter. Here's Starks for 3. Yes! John Starks again. And the Knicks lead by 5. Starks has hit 5 of 6 from downtown.
Just a remarkable, dramatic shooting performance by Starks.
Pierce, as Starks trying to draw the foul. Well, Pierce is unhappy. He thought that he was blocked. You know, it is so unusual to see a player come by way of the CBA after being dropped by one NBA club to then make it big with another. Here's Starks. Benjamin on the rebound. Knicks lead by 5, and at 40 remaining in the fourth quarter. Pierce for 3. McDaniel with the save, but Seattle gets another possession. 1:15 to go in the fourth. Knicks by 5. Downtown. And Wilkins getting to it, then knocked away. Last touch by McMillan. It'll be Nick Ball.
Well, Pierce giving it a try, but that three-point shot that he's launching requires strength in the legs. He's in his 10th year. He's got to be a little tired tonight after last night's run in Chicago.
Just under 1 minute remaining in the fourth. Shot clock 7. Ewing. Anthony did well to get to the ball, but had too much on it. And the wide open shot. Anthony hustling back to break it up. 18 on the 24 for Seattle. 34 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Timeout taken by Seattle. The Knicks lead it by the score of 92-87.
People who want to write sports for us don't give up easily.
You again. Most points in a game, Knicks.
60, Bernard King.
What was the president's batting average at Yale?
251.
First home run, New York Mets.
Gil Hodges.
How many people at the first Super Bowl?
61,946.
What were their names?
Names?
To keep up with sports in New York, keep up with the times.
I hate him. No class.
He's much too intense.
The guy's a phony. I hate the guy. I hate the guy.
He's a bum.
He's such a prima donna. I love the guy. What class.
He's so intense, so confident.
He's a leader.
You just gotta love that guy. The guy's a genius. He makes us a contender.
Pat Riley. New York loves a winner when he wins for us.
Well, tonight and every night at 11, join the MSG Sports Desk's 15-minute edition with a half-hour session every weekend right here on MSG. Bob Page presiding this evening.
One of the major bright spots offensively. Wait a minute. The only bright spot offensively is the shooting of John Starks. 5 3-point shots. The Knicks have 7. 21 points tonight out of 7 shots at the basket. And Anthony on the retreat broke up the Sonics' last attempt getting to the basket moments ago.
17 points for John Starks. Knicks have 3 and a 20 in the timeout department. Seattle down to 1 timeout left. 34 and 5/10 seconds to go in this fourth quarter. The Knicks lead the Seattle SuperSonics 92-87, and it will be Nick Ball.
Starks had 3 at the half. Like Atlanta the other night, he saved his best for the second half. There's quite a story with him on second half play this season.
Correction, it's Seattle ball. Knicks tried to steal it. McMillan. And Ewing able to get to it. He's fouled. Ricky Pierce, who leads the Sonics with 25 points, called for the foul, and Patrick Ewing will go to the line. He's 3 for 4 from the line. The Knicks led most of the way. They led by as many as 13 early in this fourth quarter. And John, as you pointed out, the Sonics look to be a tired ball club after playing last night in Chicago. And at that very moment, they turned it around and went on a terrific run. But because of the fatigue factor, obviously, not able to maintain it. And they're trailing now by 6.
Well, that's what's proven to be the factor, Marv, as you can see with your own 2 eyes.
So the Knicks seeking an 8-0 home record. Timeout taken with 25 seconds to go on the fourth.
I hate him. No class.
He's much too intense.
The guy's a phony. I hate the guy. I hate the guy. He's a bum. He's such a prima donna. I love the guy. What class.
He's so intense, so confident.
He's a leader. You just gotta love that guy. The guy's a genius. He makes us a contender.
Pat Riley. New York loves a winner when he wins for us.
Sure, Pat Riley will talk about the defense of his team and working very hard tonight. Again, the Knicks getting in everybody's way. Ewing alive on the boards at the right time. Certainly, the Knicks now will be victorious, it appears, certainly without any problem in holding their opponents under 100 points. Make that 9 out of the last 11 games.
So the Knicks looking to match the Cavalier record of 8-0 at home. Knicks do not want to foul. Benjamin backs to three-point territory. Lloyd Benjamin with his first three-point attempt of the season. 10 seconds remaining. McMillan called for the foul. Stay with us. Following the conclusion of this game, we have our extensive post-game, which will include Pat Riley's news conference, Michael Kay's locker room report, Al Troutwood, Walt Clyde Frazier, and the hand of John holding the microphone. Is that correct? That is your hand. That is Pat.
Be careful to do my nails, man.
Pat provides us with the post-game comments. The heavy on that till Springwater player of the game is John Starks, who certainly provided a lift once again from three-point range. As the Knicks take a 96-87 lead. Oh, nice dribble by Eddie Johnson off the foot. So the Knicks able to hang on. Anthony dribbling his way toward the locker room. And that will do it. The Knicks defeat the Sonics 96-87. What turns out to be a methodical victory. Seattle did make a run in the fourth quarter, but the Knicks win it by 9, and they are now 13-6. They've won 3 in a row. They have won 9 of their last 10, while Seattle drops to a record of 11-9 on this very difficult road trip. We'll be back in a moment.
Imagine being born with the ability to meet any challenge expertly. That's the wonder of the new Maxim XI from Minolta. With the experience of professionals programmed right in, it responds to any change of speed, or light, or distance automatically for ultimate performance. The new Maxim XI, born experienced. Only from the mind of Minolta.
Stranded once, never again.
Look, there's a reason more people go to Sears for a new battery than anywhere else.
Face another winner without a diehard? No way.
Only Sears has the diehard. In tests for cold cracking starting power, diehard performed 3 times better than industry standards.
Out here, if you don't have a diehard, you don't have a prayer.
Sears diehard battery. More power when you need it most.
Who's going to back you better than Sears?
Courtside at Madison Square Garden, we begin the extensive post-game report. Marv Albert just moments ago detailing all the elements of it. John Starks on the stat sheet, a perfect 5 for 5 beyond the stripe in tonight's game at the Garden. And down the stretch, he hit a couple that kept the Knicks just this much in front of the Seattle SuperSonics. The Knicks at one point leading by as many as 13 points early in the fourth, and then Seattle, despite their slumber, was able to inch back and make this one interesting. But down the stretch, Patrick Ewing grabbed every important rebound. Seattle couldn't hit a big shot, and the New York Knicks remained perfect at home, beating the Seattle SuperSonics. Now, when this week began, the New York Knicks were already looking forward to Friday, and they're meeting at Chicago Stadium with the Chicago Bulls. A few of the Knicks I talked to said, well, we do have something to do. We do have to beat New Jersey. We do have to beat Seattle. And if we do that well enough, we'll be feeling good enough, about as good as we can feel about ourselves at this point in the season, setting the important stage for Friday night showdown. Before we talk about that, lots more to come about tonight's game. Let's take a look at the leading scorers in the game. Brought to you by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. Your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers, Advantage Jeep and Eagle. John Starks, 19 points, leading the way for the Knicks tonight. As I said, 5 for 5 beyond the three-point stripe. Quiet night for Patrick Ewing in spite of the fact that Michael Cage was the small center for most of the game. Xavier McDaniel, 15 points, 6 of 13, hit his first 4 shots, and had 7 rebounds tonight. Mark Jackson played a good game. So did Greg Anthony. Jackson with 12, Anthony with 10, and in between that, Gerald Wilkins. Evenly balanced scoring for the Knicks tonight. As for the Seattle SuperSonics, it was really Ricky Pearson, not much more. Maybe this game was more costly than the Sonics would like to look on the scoreboard and think. For Sean Kemp left the game in the fourth quarter with an injured hand, as Benoit Benjamin only did return to the lineup after missing 3 games after injuring a hand himself. Pierce with 25 points tonight on 9 of 19 shooting. Good defensive job, however, for most of the night turned in by Gerald Wilkins and the others who guarded Ricky Pierce. Lots more to come. John Starks on the mark in this one.
So do my sound check.
Then we'd hit one and give us a little relief and miss 5 more. And that's going to happen. So when you're not hitting consistently from outside, it just revert back to your defense, and that defense is safe.
You got a real test coming from Chicago and Boston back-to-back in 2 different time zones.
It's not exactly losable. Yes, you're right. That's just a line, but Chicago is the world champs, and obviously Boston is a long-time adversary. We know it's going to be a big 2-game sweep, but I think it also brings us to the quarter part of the season, and we're going to go to Chicago and give it the best effort. Get Boston back here. I'm excited about it. Let's see how we're going to do over there.
Coach, you talked before about Jackson's defense. How come he doesn't play late in the game at all?
especially when you got a big lead, and it looked like it was going to slip away Jackson?
Well, his defense has been good, but I want to go with a little more pressure, a little more quickness. And that's why.
Is that what Starks is?
That's what Anthony provides. That's who you asked me about, right?
Do you find that when you take a loss like in Boston, a disappointing loss, that you'll focus specifically on the areas where they broke down there?
Boards. We got our tail kicked on the boards up there. And I don't know what it was tonight. We were beating off the boards in the first half against a very athletic team. And so going last night, we got back to it. I don't know what the final tally was tonight, but we did enough good things defensively, enough big plays to get the win.
Look at Chicago, as a gauge, sort of where you. It's only one game. You really can't. But you know what I mean, playing a opponent like
that. Put that kind of. I don't think you can put that kind of pressure on this team. That team is together. It's solid. It's one, talented, and they embarrassed us last year. Playoffs. Our guys have a memory of that, and but we're going in there, on a high note, and taking the challenge. They've been dismantling everybody lately. We'd give it our best shot like everybody else has. So we're going to go in there and we're going to play real hard. I don't know if that's going to guarantee anything, but we're going to make them feel you move it.
Talk about seeing Magic Johnson, how that felt, just to spend some time with him.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice to see him. I haven't seen him for a while, obviously. We came in town Monday, had a chance to spend some time with him, and it was nice to work him out and drill him a little bit, get him moving right to left, and he looks great. He looks strong, and it was nice. Brings back a little old memory. Listen, if you can't hit 15-footers and you're missing 17-footers, I might as well put them out there at 3. Really. The shot that we set up, the John hit to put us up at 5, why not shoot the ball from there instead of shooting it from 15? Actually, our percentage from long range is better than it is from medium range. Just is. There's something, I don't know what it is. It's bizarre. You step into the defense, you step into a guy closing you out, and I just wanted to get up a shot, make sure we got one up.
Did you instruct John to shoot from 3?
If he was open, no. If he was open to take it. If he wasn't open, he was going to go to Kiki in the corner, and then Patrick would have posted. So we wanted to give it a different look and not wave the flag, at Patrick all the time. And some of those shots are supposed to go down for you. Maybe it caught him by surprise. I don't know.
Pat, he's taking that shot with tremendous amount of confidence as the starter.
Yes, he is. He is. He's playing. He stepped his game up, and he's like all shooters. He'll miss 3 or 4 in a row, and he'll keep shooting it. I think that's his mentality. He has no fear, and he's got a good stroke. He gets it up there real easy.
And you have no problem with that. If he misses 3, 4 in a row because he's a shooter, you continue to encourage your guards.
He misses 3, 4 threes in a row, he's on his ass on the bench. And I'll just pat him on the back and throw him back in. Nobody has the right to miss 4 3-pointers in a row. Even John would say, take me out. I don't know.
But you never put the reins on him. It's almost like a base. You give him the green light whenever he has it.
He and Gerald got to put it on the floor. They got to shoot it. You got to let him shoot the ball. If a guy's got a wide open shot and he passes it up and you're going to get a worse shot. Some nights, like last night, they're all dropping for us. Tonight, they weren't dropping for you. So you got to win it another way. I'm not going to discourage anybody from taking a good shot.
Right.
I watched him a little bit last year, when I was here. When I talked to John, about the personnel, he was very, very high on John, and he had some success last year, and now he's worked very hard over the summer. And, he can flat out and get it done.
You see a better ball player than you thought he was? Show you more than you thought, or?
I don't know if any of us expected this kind of consistency from him coming off the bench, But he's getting consistent minutes, and he feels good. The other guys have confidence in him. The way we rate players right now, the way we rate them. I shouldn't say this. The way we rate them.
Oh, go ahead.
He'll be coming back as a new contract. He is rated right now, with how we rate guards, as the top off guard in the Atlantic Division. Okay, I break it down to the Atlantic Division. I mean, he's more productive across the board. He may not score 22 points like Garcia or something like that, but across the board he is, because he rebounds, he blocks, he steals, he gets free throws, he does a lot. He hits some threes. He's a very productive, efficient player, so his numbers are higher than anybody else's.
Great story. You've got the best guard in the Atlantic Division.
We got the most productive, so that's, and it tells you about not, somebody's just offensive minded. It's what we used to call a long time ago. You always want a complete player, right? He's complete. He really is. He does a lot of good things.
That takes in steals and
defensive. It's across the board. We use that a lot.
Based on minutes.
The coach's press conference sounds like it's brought to you by John Starks. It's not. It's brought to you by the New York Times. Well, once again tonight for the New York Knicks, the spark plug off the bench, John Starks. Perfect from three-point land, 3 for 3, 5 for 5, but none better acrobatically than that alley-oop to the hoop. I'm starting to sound like Clyde again, by John Starks, who joins me now courtside here at the Garden to talk about things, among them the plaudits being put upon you by your coach, Pat Riley. I mean, he has really become a big fan of yours.
Yeah, I'm trying to make him a big fan.
It's working.
Yes, it is. When I go out there on the court, like I say, I'm trying to play aggressive defense, and that's what he wants from me.
Now, John, 2 out of the last 3 games, you started a bit slow. I think in Atlanta it was 1 for 6. Tonight it was 4 for 10. You settled down, you finished 6 for 14. Yet you continue to shoot when you start off slow. I mean, you still want the ball. That shows an awful lot of confidence in your shot.
Yeah, a shooter, never gives up on his shot. I always been like that. I may start slow, but I know I'm going to always finish the game strong. I try to press myself and concentrate a little bit more.
Now, when Greg Anthony's shot comes around this season, the same man will be able to take some credit that can take credit for your shot developing and maturing the way it has, and that's Jeff Van Gundy. Why don't you talk a little bit about the effect he's had on your shooting?
Jeff, he's an intense coach. He never let me rest. Even when I don't feel like shooting, he gets me out there before practice and works me hard. And he's doing the same thing with Greg. And it won't be long, before Greg starts sticking his shot consistently.
All right, John, we're going to take a moment now. Take a look at your numbers from a year ago and take them and compare them to this season. Take a look at the minutes are obvious. Now you've got points. That's doubled. Field goal percentage improved by 6 percentage points or so. Free throw percentage from the line improved up to almost 84%. Now, John, there's an awful lot of work that goes into that, and an awful lot of confidence that's come out of it. This is really sort of a fairy tale when you consider that, there was a team in this league that said no to you, and off you went to the CBA, and then the Knicks find you, and here you are.
Yeah, it's just been in the right place at the right time. I think I was fortunate enough when I came out of college at Oklahoma State that Golden State needed a backup point guard. Like I say, it's just the right timing. Like I said, I can't give enough credit to Jeff Van Gundy. He did a great job in working with me over the summer to improve my shooting, especially from the free throw line.
Now, John, there are a lot of positions in sports that sometimes don't get the recognition they deserve. In baseball, it's a middle relief pitcher. Sometimes in sports, it's a 6th man. But in this league, 6 men have gotten plenty of recognition. Last year, it was Detlef Schrempf. For so many years, it was Ricky Pierce for Seattle, who we saw tonight. Is that the kind of recognition that you would really enjoy?
Not really. I don't look forward to that. I just look forward to come out and helping my teammates, improve their game as well as improve mine, and help us to some victories.
All right, John, thanks very much for your time.
Okay, thanks a lot now.
That's John Starks. Go in and give Pat Riley a kiss, will you? All right, that's John Starks. Great game tonight. Guests receive a Be My Guest restaurant certificate from American Express, honored at restaurants in the U.S. and Canada, accepting the American Express card. Be My Guest, the perfect wedding anniversary or thank you gift to order with the card. Call 1-800-535-GIFT. Membership has its privileges. Another look at one of the plays turned in by John Starks tonight, finishing the game with 19 points to lead the Knicks.
To the good all-around effort, in particular from the bench, the team concept has come through. And John, as you know, there's no I in team.
You've been hanging around those NBA playoffs too long, Marv. That's very good. No I in team.
I thought you'd like that phrase.
Very nice. I would say, though, in summing up, getting away from that important point that you make, this was an excellent win for the Knicks because, as you point out, it's one that could have slid away. And in many ways, Pat Riley has to feel it's a great win, because when you can win a game like this, a sloppy game, a game with no beauty attached to it, it's got to make you feel very good. And the Knicks still are abiding by the Riley formula of staying undefeated here at home.
Well, the Knicks felt that their first major test of this season, with things going so well, would have been last Friday night in Boston. Knicks played the Celtics well. It was a good ball game going through the early moments of the fourth quarter when Larry Bird, for the most part, took over. The next big major test will take place Friday night in Chicago when the Knicks go up against Michael Jordan and the NBA champion Chicago Bulls.
Yes, the Knicks have so many disappointing memories to think of when you talk about Chicago Stadium, and it will be a wild 48 hours between Friday the Bulls and Saturday the Boston Celtics.
And we'll be on hand starting at 8:30. That'll be the Knicks and the Bulls from Chicago. Remember, no I, T-E-A-M. Back to Al.
It's been a spelling bee. What can I say? And more. 96-87. Knicks winners tonight. They're still perfect at home. More to come. Michael Kay, Clyde Frazier, stay with us. Thomas was over. He was breathing pretty hard. Magic said he has been working out extensively, and Pat Riley seemed to enjoy his role as ball boy in the rare pregame practice look at Madison Square Garden. A hug for his old coach, and then it was on to answer some questions. The first one was, Magic, what are you doing at the Garden practicing?
We thought in the beginning it was just supposed to be myself and Coach Riley, but somehow it got out. I've been working out every day, and I've been here 3 days, and I wanted to continue that. I've been riding a treadmill, but I hadn't been shooting for 2 days, and I wanted to get some shooting in. And we had set it up, and this morning I look up and it's all in the paper. And so instead of trying to, not let you come in, you already knew about it, might as well let you come in and see what's happening. You can talk to me, I can talk to you, and just hang out for a little while. As far as the Olympics, yes, I'm going to play. I plan on playing and going on with that mission. The only reason I decided not to play now is the fact that I wanted to live a long time. I got a job, and I'm on the job training at the same time. Now, of course, you want the message to come out right, and you want it to come out clear. So I learned a lot by the safest sex is no sex, of course, but we all know as we sit here, and I don't care if you're dealing with reality, and let's deal that way, that I can say that all I want, but people gonna have sex, whether I say it or not, and I want people not to have sex. I'm talking about the young people, but we know they're gonna have sex, so if they're gonna do it, then let's get them up to date on the safest sex is, the safest way is to use a condom. But you want to go first with no sex. But like I said, young people are going to have sex, and that's just the way of the world. My wife and I sit up and laugh at them. It's funny. It really is. She's sleeping in the basement in the maid's quarter. The porno queen. It's just funny. It's really funny, So it's no sense getting upset. The funny thing about this whole situation with that, even, I used to sit on the bus, and Michael Cooper used to buy those things, okay? And so I'm sitting there, so he would throw them down, so I pick them up and I'm reading them. And then I'm caught thinking, is this, man, really? That ape had birth to a tiger, and I'm thinking, this person is like this. Oh, wow, his wife was sleeping with 20 men. He didn't know it, And then, boom, here I am. I think for the last, 5 weeks, I've been front page, and this and that happened. What I miss is Larry Bird. I miss Michael Jordan. That means the big games. I miss the competitive nature going out. Okay, it's you and me. It's L.A., Boston. Coming in the Garden right here today. You know, I miss the big glitz. You guys, yeah, I want to do something because I'm in New York. You see? It's like that's what you miss. You miss just saying, yeah, okay, it's big time tonight. And you get up, you rise to the occasion.
Magic Johnson still very charismatic in his new role as a spokesman for AIDS awareness. When he entered Madison Square Garden tonight, where he watched the game from the front row, he received a standing ovation. Still smiling and in attendance tonight, Earvin Magic Johnson. The latest from the Knicks locker room, Patrick Ewing is hurting.
What a play! Lance Blake's off the window! Lance Blake jumped up on Press Road. Why not?
Here's two great plays for the price of one. First, Mutombo's block. And then Winston Garland's circus shot at the other end.
The other way. Drops it over to Garland. And Garland just kind of threw up a prayer, and somebody answered it.
Speaking of prayers, Moses also had one answered.
Moses, shoot it, Moses, from midcourt. Why'd I tell him to shoot it?
Baron Mays, a new kid on the wrong end of the block.
Goes right by. Oh, it's a block by Sam Hood. That's a house job.
Number 4 in San Antonio, Greg Sutton had plenty of room to start the break.
Anderson with room to finish.
Unlikely hero of the week, the Cavs, Steve Kerr.
He shoots. Hit! Steve Kerr buries it with 0.6 of a second left.
At number 2, Sleepy Floyd woke up the arena with this move.
Taken away, here's Floyd the other way. Reverse for two.
Finally, a play guaranteed to flip your wig as Chris Mullin comes up with a hair-raising finish. Stolen a hurry ahead. Less than a second. It counts. Under a second to go in the first period. I'm Jim Fagan. Next week on NBA Action, we'll take an inside look at the Men of Steel.
The Steel can change the whole game.
And in our Olympic profile, we'll meet the Warriors' all-world Chris Mullin.
I'm having more fun now than I ever did playing basketball.
Now, welcome to Madison Square.